All right, let's get this started. Okay. I'll allow a few minutes, maybe just a minute or two at the start for everyone to join. And as you're making your way into the webinar, I'll say this a few times, but just as an opener, there's a Q&A option in Zoom, and you can ask questions directly in there. And I'll try and keep an eye on that section. And my colleagues on the call as well will try and assist with any questions that come up if I'm not able to pick up on them. I will be trying to keep an eye on those FAQs myself, but just in case I miss them, someone from the team will be able to assist during the webinar as well, try and cover them as we go. Okay, I'll just let everyone join. I'll wait maybe another minute or so, and then I'll get started. Okay, I think it's time to get started. Thanks everyone for joining today. My name is Adrian. I'm one of the founders and the CEO here at Cademy. We are a company based in Edinburgh. We're about 4 years old at this point. Our objective is to build the booking.com of education. To us, it's kind of silly that nowadays you can book a hotel or a flight or a car in 5 minutes, but if you need to book a course or training for yourself or your staff or your loved ones, it's always the Wild West. And we're confident that that's going to change in the next few years, and that's the future we're building towards. This webinar will be a general introduction to what Cademy is and how it works. And it should give you a general sense of what we could do to help you or how you can use us and our tools that we are offering, okay? If there's questions, I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating. You can use the FAQ option and the questions option in Zoom and post your questions in there, and I'll keep an eye on that. And then my colleagues as well will keep an eye on and try and respond directly in there. The webinar today should last about 30 minutes. It will be quite general, quite broad, and we'll cover a very wide set of topics in how you can use Cademy in general. And then it should give you a good starting point from there to delve into any more particular topics that kind of are of interest to yourself. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, our objective here is to make it easier than ever for people to find and discover courses and learning opportunities. So with that in mind, this is why we've built cademy.co.uk, where people can go in and search for a course on any particular topic, whether it's let's say GDPR or maybe first aid or leadership training, maybe whatever the topic may be. You can easily search for that, discover options on the list, narrow it down by location or the format, whether you want it in person or online. You can do that, and then of course delve into a particular course and enroll yourself or your staff or whoever relatively easily compared to the regular process of trying to get something like this arranged. So at its core, the process of discovering courses on the marketplace is pretty straightforward. Also, when you search for a topic in an area, let's say in this case it's London, I'm going to search for Edinburgh, where we are based. If we don't find enough options in that area, we'll also highlight at the very bottom of the page educators in the area that teach courses on this topic, so that you could easily at least get in touch with those educators directly and maybe arrange something with them directly rather than through Cademy. So it's not just a way to easily discover courses for customers, but it's also a business directory where they could easily see the top-rated educators across the area in which they're interested in the topic they're interested, and easily reach out to them directly through here as well. At this point, we have over 50,000 customers on a monthly basis coming onto the platform, and it's growing quite rapidly. And it's very exciting to see this kind of grow and expand to this extent. But this is a relatively new addition to Cademy. We've been around for about 4 years, but with a platform like this, when you launch, you have really an empty slate. You have an empty website with no courses, no educators, no nothing, and you have a bit of a chicken and egg problem. It's very hard to build up and get started with a marketplace like this. Educators are not interested in coming to a platform and listing their courses on a website where there's no customers, and customers have no point in going to a website where there's no courses. So the reality is that to solve for that, what we've done is focus primarily on building great tools for educators of all sizes. So we focused on building a better system that allows educators to sell their courses on their own. And for the first few years of our company, we primarily focused on reaching out to educators and saying, hey, we've got this great toolkit for you to be able to sell courses directly from your website or through a mini site that we create for you. And it's just going to make your process a lot easier behind the scenes. So today we have thousands of educators on our platform, and some of them use us to get more exposure to the marketplace, and others use us primarily because they need a better tool to manage their behind the scenes. In an ideal world, Cademy is a great backend tool to allow educators to run their own sales through their own channels, as well as an extra marketing channel that they could leverage to try and get extra exposure. Now, I'll give you an example of what that looks like. The majority of customers that come to Cademy, they usually will come from Google. We've done a lot of work to try and optimize our platform for Google so that when people search for courses, they would hopefully land on one of our landing pages. When I search for an ALS course, for example, I would see Cademy ranking quite highly on the first page. And it allows customers to directly tap in and look into a course through Cademy. It's all pretty straightforward. Now, the educator here, Hunter Clinical Training, they are actually using us not just as a way to get extra customers through the marketplace, they're using us as a tool as well. So if I go to their website directly and click on the option to book a course, you'll see that it loads up a booking system, and this is all powered by Cademy as well. So it allows customers to go to Hunter Clinical Training directly and book and pay from their website, essentially, right? So for Hunter, it's a great tool that allows them to drive their own business and their own customers on their website. They get charged pretty much nothing for the system. And on top of that, all the courses they create on our system, they go automatically in the marketplace, and we can help them get extra customers through the work that we're doing to both attract people through search engines and through more proactive marketing campaigns that we're running as well to drive more people to the marketplace. Okay, so let's actually now focus on what it takes, or how do you set up an account and start using Cademy to either publish your own courses to promote them or to run them and sell them for yourself. So from the website, if you go in and click on the create a course option, you'll be taken to a page where there's more information for educators about what Cademy can do. And from here, you can sign up. Now, I've already created an account, so I'm not going to sign up from scratch. I'll just go into my account here. But normally, once you're done with the sign up, you'll end up on a page like this. And this is the admin dashboard, as we call it, right? This is where you can create and manage your business entirely. And I'll take you through the process, what you would normally do once you've created an account. When you're in here, you can see that I land in the courses section. And although I have some courses already on this account, you'll land on an account with nothing there. You will have an option to import your courses. So if you have them running somewhere on Eventbrite or your own website, you'll be able to click a button and request for your courses to be imported and get started quite quickly. From here, you can see that I can navigate into on the left side on the contact section, inbox, where I see all my inquiries and messages. I could see my bookings and sales here and under bookings. And under the profile, I can update my logo, bio, personal description for the business. All of that can be updated in here. Okay, so all of these options are quite self-explanatory, but I'll give you a sense of what it's like to actually start creating something on Cademy. Okay, so I'll click on the courses option, and then from here, I'll go into to create a brand new course. Now, This is where you'll probably notice where Cademy is different from most other platforms out there, right? First of all, we have to pick the keyword that we want to use, whether it's a course, webinar, event, whatever it is. I can just pick it so that it's used across the messages and automated emails and so on to personalize a bit the service that we're offering here. Now, the next step is where it gets interesting. I have to choose the format of this course that I'm creating. If it runs on specific dates and times, such as workshops, events, anything that a person would see a date and be able to book onto, then I would choose this option here. And then I'll be allowed to add in my dates into a calendar. If I don't have specific dates listed that people would book on, but I rely on people inquiring and we go back and forth to agree on a date and a time and a price and location, maybe I'll choose this option. So this is more common for corporate training or one-to-one training and things like that, okay? We also have an option to set up on-demand courses and online courses directly on here. So you'd be able to upload videos and articles and everything else, all the content in a single place. And the customer would be able to buy the course and immediately start taking the course through the platform. And lastly, we have the option to host a blended course where there's dates that people book onto, but there's also additional on-demand content that they get besides the dates that they have to attend, okay? So I'll show you what it's like to set up a standard basic course on specific dates. And today I'll also delve very quickly into what it's like to set up an on-demand course so you get a sense of what that's like as well. So I'll choose this option to begin with. And step number one, I'm taking now into the course editor. And step number one, and it's going to be the same across all these types of courses. I will just enter the name of the course, webinar course with dates. You'd add in an image here, or maybe several images. It's up to you. You can add in your description for the course. The longer, the better. You can plug in some FAQs from your FAQ library, so you don't have to rewrite these FAQs every single time. You can put them in a saved library and reuse them across multiple courses. And then this is where it gets actually interesting. You can choose how this course runs, whether it runs in person, online, or hybrid. So if it's in person, you choose the address. Online, you can put in the Zoom link or the Teams link, whatever platform you use to host the sessions. You can put in the link and the customer will get access to it after they purchase or enroll or book. And a hybrid option is where you run it over Zoom or some other online system, as well as doing it in person with some people in the room. So people will be able to choose which one they want, and then they'd get the instructions respectively, depending on the options they chose. So I can put in the Zoom link, let's say in this scenario, choose how many spaces I want to offer, choose the price that I want to charge for my session, and it's as simple as it gets. You can add in additional offers and add-ons to it and give people the choice of what price they want to or what ticket type they want. But I'm not going to delve into all of that. We're trying to keep, the whole demonstration here at a very high level. Now, when I scroll a bit lower, this part is important if you're trying to get more coverage on the marketplace. Ideally, you would add in additional tags and categories and keywords in the description here, because it will help it surface across multiple pages in the search results on Cademy. Now, I'll go into this second step now. And on here, you can see that I get a calendar and I can simply add in the date when my event takes place into the calendar. So I'll just say that it runs on the 28th, and I can just add more dates if this event repeats. I can just plug it into the calendar like so. And if I have this calendar system is quite flexible. So if I have a course that maybe in this scenario, people will be able to book individually any of these days, depending on which one is more convenient to them, because that's the option I have here. But sometimes you want to set up a course that runs over several weeks, and you want them to be able to book only once, but be reminded every week to show up and get a clear list of dates they need to attend. You can just choose this option at the top and give it a name, maybe cohort 1 or January cohort or something like that. Put in all the dates in the list, and people will be able to see the dates in the list and book onto all of them at once. But they only have to pay once and check out once. Okay. So you can see that it's quite flexible. I can just save this and move on with the rest of the step. And by the way, the individual dates here are completely independent from each other. So I could set up in the same course, dates that are taking place in a specific location on a specific time, or some of them can be online, others can be in person. I can go in and change the Zoom link on any individual date I want. They're all independent from each other, and it's all pretty flexible. So if I go to settings now, this is where you can control the behind the scenes of the course if you wish. But the reality is that you don't have to change any of the defaults. There's good enough defaults in place for every course that gets created from scratch. So if you just leave it without touching any of the settings, it will just work fine. But for the sake of giving you an overview of what you could do here, I'll go into some of the options to explain what they do and give you a sense of what's possible. So under the first option, under booking options, you choose how you want bookings to take place. So in this case, whether you want to take the booking instantly and give access to the course instantly, or manually approve every booking after the customer is paid and only allow them after you approve. Or you can run an application flow where the customer doesn't get access or doesn't pay immediately as they book. They apply, and only after you accept their application, they're going to be sent a link to complete payment. You can enable or disable wait lists and group requests and so on in here as well. Next, you can customize the booking form used. So when the customer buys, if you want to ask them additional questions, maybe where they found out about you or their dietary requirements or accessibility requirements, you can customize the registration form, and you can capture details for every of the guests they are booking on as well. So you have the information of all the people attending if you need to. Next, you can customize the emails that are going to the customer before and after the event, and as soon as they purchase as well. So you have full control over that template and are able to edit it entirely. You can assign the course specific owners. So if you have multiple people in the organizations providing courses, only the people that are assigned to the course will get notified and be able to manage these courses, and they don't interfere with each other's courses and data. You can set up memberships and run subscriptions so people can subscribe to one of the memberships and get access to this course and many other offers as well. And you can customize certificates and many other things in the advanced settings, but it's not really, we don't necessarily have time to go into all of these options in depth. But suffice it to say that the important bits are adding a description onto your course, setting the date for it, and pretty much publishing it. The settings are going to be fine by default, so you don't have to worry about it. When you publish it, it publishes it on Cademy automatically, but you can choose to unpublish it from both Cademy or your own mini site and have it a private course if you wish, right? I'll publish it again and I'll open it. Now, when I publish my course, it makes it available on my mini site. And the mini site is just a simple portal for all of your services run through Cademy. So to give you an idea of what a mini site looks like for an actual educator using actively the platform, this is Active Lancashire, a local council organization. You could see that they have their logo, their branding all over the place. They have a couple of collections at the top, all of their services here, and then it's pretty straightforward for someone to land there and look at the options and book the courses offered by this organization. So every educator, when you set up an account, you immediately get one of these pages set up for you. And as soon as you're ready to publish your course, let me actually go and close some of these tabs as it gets a bit busy. As soon as you're publishing your course, it immediately makes it available on that link. So you can copy that link or open it and start sharing it across your own network. All the sales you make through this mini site or through the embedded booking system that we offer, they're charged a 3.9% fee, and that's pretty much just the platform fee. It helps us cover the costs of offering you these tools. There's no additional fees from Stripe or PayPal or anything else. That fee incorporates all the fees out there. There's no monthly contracts or anything like that. So it's a simple fee that you can choose to pay yourself or pass it on to the customer. When the customer clicks to book, they're taken through the checkout flow. So they'll be able to enter the number of spaces they want, apply any promo codes, go through, enter the information, and check out directly in here. Obviously, this is a test account, but you can imagine that this experience will be a lot more branded in a real instance, right? If I complete the payment through here, I'm taken to the confirmation page, where as a customer, I can go and manage my booking through here. I can download the receipt or the invoice, or I can add it to my calendar or share it on social media. So it's pretty straightforward and it's pretty simple as an experience. And you can see that once I land my customer profile, I'll be able to see the instructions for the for this particular session, and I'll be able to join the details during the webinar in this case when time comes, right? Normally, you can enable or disable the option for the customers to cancel bookings as well, and they'll be able to do that without having to contact you. But in this case, they're restricted. Now, this is an idea of what it's like for a customer to book. Let's go and give you an idea of what happens behind the scenes. So you can see that if I go into my course now, into my webinar in this case, I'll be able to see a list of everybody that's booked on. Of course, an email will be sent to the course owner. So I'll get a notification that someone's booked onto my session. I'll always be able to keep on top of that. But if I come through in the admin system here, I'll always see a list of all the dates and a list of all the attendees on all the different dates. I can select people from here in the list and bulk export them or email them from here as well. So I can easily type up an email and bulk send it through here. If I send the same email over and over, I can just save it in the template and then just enter that template in here, maybe make some edits, preview it, and send it all through here without having to use another system. And that's very useful because when I look at individual booking, I'll be able to see the details of that booking, including the payment information. I can move the booking. I can cancel the booking from here and issue a 100% refund that goes automatically to the customer. I can see all my notes on this person. I can see the contact information that was provided by the person. And if I go into any individual contact, I'll also be able to see a timeline of all my interactions with that person over their history. This is a test account that I always use, so you can see that there's quite a lot going on, but it gives you an idea of what you normally can expect in the system. You'd see a timeline of what your interactions have been with this person. In this case, I can see that I've booked this webinar course, and there's an email that was sent after that. I'll be able to see whether it's been opened, clicked, delivered or not. And I'll be able to preview the email that was sent and make sure that the information that was sent was accurate. Okay. So it gives you an idea of what you could do here. And the good thing is that because we'll keep track of all the context of all these interactions with your contacts over time, you'll always be able to come to your contact section and filter your contacts based on that information. So if you want to find everyone who booked the course in the last 6 months or hasn't interacted with you in the last 6 months, easily filter for them, select them in bulk, and either bulk email them from here or export them into another system. You'll be able to do that with just a few clicks. All that information is still there and it's very accessible, very straightforward. We take care of all the complexity around taking the booking, reminders, asking for a review after the fact, generating a certificate after the fact. You do not have to do any of that. You can change the settings, of course, but if you leave them by default, it's just going to work. Okay, so that's what the magic of the system, and that's why we have at this point thousands of educators using this system to streamline how their admin behind the scenes works, so they don't have to hopefully manage a lot of these processes manually themselves. Now, before I'm realizing that the time's flying by quite quickly, so I want to kind of cover the other types of courses that you could set up through here. So very quickly, I'll show you what an on-request course is like. So I'll say example on-request course. As you can see, the first step is always pretty much the same. But for non-request course, if I go into the pricing and delivery option here at the top, you'll see that I can choose whether I want to make the pricing available to the customer or not. So I can say that pricing should be hidden and people should inquire to see the pricing or to ask about pricing. Or I can give the customer a rough price range, from 300 to 500 pounds, for example, right? And also I can, if I wish, I can just publish the pricing and say that this is a £100 session. It lasts like 60 minutes, but I can offer maybe the option to do it over 120 minutes for an extra £50, right? Extended session. So I can choose the way I want my pricing to work. I can choose the duration and give the customer more than one option to choose from. And then I can choose how this session can be delivered. I can say it can be delivered online or in person. And I can say whether I want to host the customer at my location or whether I'll be traveling to the customer and how restrictive I want this to be. So it gives you an idea of how you could set this up. If I publish this and go and check out, I'll click to request the date. And you'll see what it's like for the customer, because it's the most flexible flow you can imagine at this point, because they don't have to go through the process of paying at all. They can just enter the how many people they want to attend this, whether they want to do it in person or online, and whether they want the additional extended session for an extra £50. I can enter the dates that work for me and submit. And that, oops, I need to put in a message as well. Normally, this is where people explain what they're looking to get from this session, and they can enter their contact information, and that's it. Once they submit, you'll get a notification. You'll be able to accept or decline the request. You'll be able to go back and forth. And once you're happy with your arrangement, you can send them a request for payment. And it's just going to be a link where they can click and immediately complete their payment. Now, let's go very quickly into on-demand courses as well. These are quite popular nowadays as well. And if I go on to search one of my on-demand courses, this is an example of one of them. The process of creating an on-demand course, again, step number one is the same, add in your description, images, and so on. But under the second step, this is where it gets more interesting. We have a full course builder directly on the platform, so you don't have to use another tool. You can just come in and create your lessons onto the on the course, break them down into sections if you wish. And then, of course, you can drag in blocks into your content, into your lessons, and expand on that. So let's say example lesson. I'll drag this lesson. Oops, I'll drag this higher. I want to have a video and a text. I'll click on this, choose a video that I've uploaded before, and add in my text in here. If you wish, you could also add in interactivity through quizzes. So you can just drag in a quiz and create your questions directly in here, and you'll be able to capture all the responses in here as well. Apologies. If I was to save and share, you can see that I can just enroll. Let's give it a second. Choose the price. Should enter my details. Again, complete payment. And we're done. It's as simple as that. I can access the course and immediately go through it and complete it as a customer, which, as you can see, is a very simple and delightful experience to just buy a course and get out through the process and immediately start experiencing my course. Okay. Now, if I go back in the admin, you will always see who's purchased your course, how far through the course they are. You'll always be able to keep track of people in here and always email them in bulk if you wish. It's all available to you. All this information is all very easily accessible. So you can always keep on top of these people going through the course and make sure they don't drop off, which tends to happen quite often in these on-demand courses. Okay. So as you can see, the system is very flexible. It's very powerful, but it can be a bit daunting. So if you're new to it, we do recommend that you get in touch with us if you have questions. There's live chat on the left, and also in your if you log into your account, it will be available on the bottom right as well. And you could always message us, and our team will be more than happy to assist with your queries as well. Now, in terms of pricing, I mentioned earlier that if you're selling it directly through your own mini site or through the embedded booking system, it costs 3.9%, and you can choose to absorb that fee or pass it on. And if you choose to publish your courses onto the market, if we are able to drive you an extra customer through the marketplace, we'll be charging an extra 10% on that sale. So this is only in a case where there's a new customer that we bring to you that you didn't have through your own website or through your own mini site, essentially. Now, to top it all off, we're also offering right now new educators that are signing up the option to get £10,000 worth of credits. And that means that your first £10,000 on the platform will not be charged any transaction fees at all. You'll get the platform completely for free. So if you are looking to try it out, if you're looking to experiment, now is the best time to do it. There's literally no risk involved for you. Okay, so this is our 30 minutes. I don't see, I think most of the Q&As have been solved. I don't see any notifications that I need to look at. I realize that everyone's busy and has a lot of things to do, so I'll let everybody go. But if you do have questions, please get in touch with us, and we'll always be happy to assist with anything that you're, any queries you might have. Okay. Thank you so much for trying Cademy. We really appreciate it. I wish you a wonderful day. Okay. Take care.